focus in on God. Focus in on God, or focus on God. But if I want to use AI language or the Gen Z language, I'll say zoom in on God. How about that? You know, these cameras have the way of zooming. They shut out any other person and zoom on the person they want to capture. You know what it means to zoom? To just go directly to the person that you want to capture. If I want to capture Mama Ajike now, I'll just zoom on her and I will not see Mama Canon. But if I come with a camera that cannot zoom, then they will have to enter. That's why sometimes you hear people say, give way, shift, 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 so that they can take picture. But those who have zoom lens, they don't tell you to shift. As you are standing, they will just zoom in on the person they want to capture, and you will find out that you are out. And I know that there are many of us who became offended when people were taking pictures and you discover that the picture was taken where you were standing, but you are not in the picture. Have you been disappointed like that? And sometimes you query them, you say, but I was there, you just cut me out. Now, the reason why you are cut out is because you don't belong to that agenda. The photograph or the picture that was to go on was not for you. It was for the person. So they zoom in on that person. So now, during Lenten season, we are engaging on Lenten discipline. And I want you to focus your mind only on God. God is the only one you should focus on, and don't lose sight of God. And Jesus would not allow his disciples to be confused about it. So he called their attention to the purpose of the observance of fasting, observance of prayer, observance of almsgiving. He said it is not for other reasons. It is that God, who sees in secret, will reward you openly. Amen? I'll tell you a story about my unfortunate circumstance on this matter of zooming. Many years ago, over 20 years ago, my elder brother graduated from the Bible school. And in those days, the cameras that were in place were the ones that you will have to buy the film, load it, and then after it, you take the negative. They take the film and they change it into negative and then they print. You remember, those of you who are? Now, I have never used a camera phone before. A camera before. Still camera. I've never used it before. In those days, they were not common. But there's a school teacher who has such camera that he was using. But he was not going to follow us to my brother's graduation. So my elder sister said I should go and plead with him to give us his camera. We will buy the film. He will load it for us. My business is only to just capture. Is it a difficult matter for me to do? Not difficult. So the man now told me that if I put the camera this way, that there is a box inside the camera, that I will see the face of some people inside the box. Not paying attention to the box inside. I will just look at my brother, and maybe the box is on his chest. His head is outside the box. I will just take the picture. Why are you laughing now? Oh, okay, you get the message now. In other words, I have just snapped his chest, and he said he's not there. I was seriously doing this thing, and my brother was surprised because he has never seen me use it. At one point, he called me and said, I hope you are getting it correctly. I said, yes, I'm getting it correctly. You will be dancing like this. That's what I said before, I don't cut. My uncles and family members came and stood for a group photograph. One of my uncles is late now, but very wicked uncle. As he was standing there for the picture, I slashed him into two. So I made a very terrible damage to the occasion. It was not deliberate. I told you, Obasabi. So we came back now. Everybody was happy because if I turn this way, I just flash. You just see flash. Yeah. I was just flashing everywhere. If I turn, I look at you and I like you, I flash you. Before you know it, the film was complete. I loaded again. We were ready for this occasion. Now, as at then, it was not a laughing matter for me because it was very painful. They took this film now to the studio and they cleared it and they brought it. Maybe I should help myself. Let me be modest on myself. 70 of the pictures condemned. Only 30, and those 30 were by the grace of God. How they came out was just grace, not that it was because I know what I was doing. Apparently, I did not know what I was doing, so the whole occasion was ruined by my... Now they talk like that to a bishop. Now, my brother understood the predicament. He knew that it was not deliberate. So he understood it, but I wouldn't forgive myself. I felt terribly bad that I just did not present this occasion well. But that was not the main story. Now we saw this, my terrible uncle and his picture, I slashed into two. So while we were presenting the pictures that were good enough, we had to remove that one, even though others were okay, but we removed that one. Otherwise, there will be trouble. He will be saying, why did you slash me into two? He wouldn't know that it was not deliberate. Do you know that in this Christian journey, many of us are like myself? We are so confident about our Christian journey that we don't want anybody to tell us anything we already know. Thank God for me, it was at the studio they discovered that what I did was rubbish. No life was lost. Pictures gone. No life lost. If you continue with your arrogance and your pride and your pomposity, not bending down to learn the Christian journey and the discipline of Christ, you may not have another studio to be corrected. May not. Where you will discover is hellfire. And at that moment, it will be too late. So Jesus now, with his disciples, that he had called them one after another, follow me, I will make you fishers of men. They followed. He met Levi, follow me, he followed him. Bartholomew, Nathanael, all of those people, he gathered them, 12 of them. And the Bible recorded that now he went on the mountain and the multitude gathered and he sat down to teach them.